In this segment of the North Oak Stretching Series, we will be dealing with stretches involving the quad, hip flexor, and groin. Our first stretch we're going to do is a quad stretch. Simple, that everybody's done forever, but we want to make sure the technique is right. First, we're going to have him try to pull his heel up to his butt. And what I want you to notice is that he's keeping a nice straight line down the front. You don't see him pulling his foot out to the side nor around behind him. Also, if you look at him from the side, you notice that he's keeping a nice straight line this way as well, from his shoulder all the way down to his knee. If you notice that somebody isn't keeping that line, that indicates a hip flexor tightness, which they need to focus more on stretching. So try to emphasize pulling the knee back as well as the heel to the butt. The next stretch is a lunge stretch. So what we're gonna have the athlete do is step up onto a table, or they can do this flat on the ground. The leg that we're gonna stretch is gonna be the one that they're kneeling on, and the other one's gonna step out. You notice it looks just like the bottom of a lunge. So with this, we wanna focus on two things. We're going to focus on them staying upright, their torso staying vertical rather than leaning forward like a lot of bad posture is taught. And then the other one is, as they're stretching, shifting this front knee forward. All right, with that, you can see how the hip extends right there and is really going to target those hip flexors. A lot of times people will also throw a lean in, where they'll take this arm on the same side and they'll lean across, and all that's going to do is help to open up that side and hip a little bit more. You want to do this stretch 2 to 3 times, holding it 20 to 30 seconds each time. Our next stretch that we're going to do is a modification of that. We're going to use a rubber band or a loop made of TheraBand, just something stretchy to help open that joint up even more. This is very useful for athletes that describe a pinching sensation in the front of the hip. The athlete's going to assume the same position, and we're going to loop this band right around the bottom of their buttocks. I am then going to pull this out or have this locked onto a pole of some sort, and as they shift forward, this is providing traction on the joint in order to help it open up more. They should feel an increased opening in the front of the hip. You can also combine the lean with this if you would like. Our next stretch is going to be the table hip flexor stretch. With this one, we have to use a table for it, or something secure that won't fall. We're going to have them step to the end of the bench or table. They're going to position the top of their buttocks at the edge of the table, pick up the leg that they don't want to stretch, and then lean back onto the table. I promise they won't fall if they do this correctly. So you're going to have them hold here. Now, this they may feel a stretch with already, but if you need to increase the stretch, all you're going to do is apply slight pressure down right here. From here, in order to switch to the other leg, if they have a hip flexor injury especially, I want to help him lift that leg up, have him hold it, and then apply pressure on the other leg if need be. That's our tabletop hip flexor. Once again, we're going to hold this for about 20 to 30 seconds with 3 repetitions. Our last stretch is going to be the butterfly stretch. We're going to have the athlete either sit on the table or the ground, and with this, we're going to have them place the bottom of their feet together and pull them in as far as comfortable. With that, we're then going to have them grasp their ankles and use their elbows to push down on their knees. If they are having pain or discomfort with that, they can either move their feet further away, or they can let up some of the pressure. If they're still not feeling a good enough stretch though, you can have a partner push down on their back to help increase the stretch. With this butterfly stretch, that concludes our series on the hip flexor, groin, and quad.